Heated clothing is getting super popular and I've tested a lot of it on the channel. I'm going to rank everything and tell you what's awesome, what sucks, what I would get, and what I would skip. The most expensive thing on my list is what I was most excited for, and it kind of sucked. And the cheapest thing that I thought was going to be complete junk actually ended up working the best and turned out to be my favorite item on this list. In each product category, I'm going to have specific examples, and those products are going to be linked in the video description. So I've totally got you covered if you want to pick up the exact stuff that I'm talking about in the video. You can't talk about heated gear for winter without talking about heated gloves, as they are an essential winter staple. I'm using a pair from Venusta, and I want to point out that it's important to start with a good pair of gloves, heating aside. These gloves use 3M Thinsulate material for insulation, and are really nice gloves that are really warm even when they're not on. The batteries are stored in separate compartments within the cuff of the glove, and with the small size, you hardly notice the added weight, unlike some items on this list. Looking at you, Milwaukee. One long press of the button turns the heating elements on, and there's 3 heat settings to choose from. Runtime on high can be up to a couple hours, but on the low setting, it seems like they last forever. I definitely highly recommend picking up a pair of heated gloves for winter to keep those hands and fingers warm all season long. Heated jackets are perhaps the most obvious of the heating clothing, and it makes sense. You wear a jacket when it's cold, so heat the jacket and be less cold. Well, kinda. I have 2 heated jackets, one from Milwaukee and one from Netherlands off Amazon. And like the gloves, both jackets are great jackets, heating aside. The Milwaukee is more of a work jacket and it has a super durable outer shell, whereas the Netherlands is more of a casual wear jacket that I would wear for snowboard. Both jackets feature dual heating zones, but the Netherlands has the Milwaukee beat when it comes to the number of heating coils. And because of that, it gets a lot hotter. My problem with the jackets is that it's my outermost layer, and oftentimes during the winter, I'm wearing something like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a quarter zip underneath that jacket, and all of those base layers mean that it's harder to feel the heat from the coils because they're farther away from my body. I was the most excited to get my hands on these heated jackets, and while they are both very nice standalone jackets, I was disappointed with the heating output, and it just wasn't really that hot. So going forward, I would encourage you to invest in heated base layers rather than the outermost layer. Something to think about when shopping for heated gear. If you're like me, hoodies are essential from basically September through May. And for everyday use, heated hoodies are awesome. I have 2 of them, one from Milwaukee and one from Venusta, the same company as my gloves. The Milwaukee uses the M12 batteries, same as all the Milwaukee gear on this list. And I've mentioned in other videos that I'm not a big fan of that form factor battery for a clothing application. Sure, it's great for sliding into the handle of a power tool, but when it comes to storing it in your pocket and wearing it on your person, it's not that comfortable. The Milwaukee has heating zones in the back and upper chest area, and that works okay-ish. The Venusta has even more heating zones because both of the pockets in that hooded sweatshirt are heated as well. And it has dual heat zones, so you can control what gets hot and how hot it gets. Kinda nice versatility. Both of these hoodies air on the shorter side of things, and at 6'3", I wish they were just a little bit longer in the torso. It's a common problem for tall people, so if you're one of them tall boys, keep that in mind when shopping. Heated vests are up next, and I've got 2 examples, one from Milwaukee and one from Dubu, a brand you probably haven't heard of. Now, I'm not really a vest guy, but I wanted to give these a try, and here's why. The secret to heated clothing, and what I learned from doing all of this testing, is that keeping the coils as close to your body as possible gives you the best result when it comes to feeling the heat. Because of that, I got both of these vests in a size smaller than I normally would, and I wear them as base layers under sweatshirts and jackets to really lock in that heat close to my body. The strategy works great, and my core temp never gets cold with a heated vest on. The Milwaukee vest is thinner and lays flatter, so it's better for that layering strategy. The Dubu is more of a puffer vest, and it looks better. I sometimes pair mine with a hooded sweatshirt. There aren't many products that you have to worry about getting too hot, but the Dubu vest is the exception. That thing puts out some serious heat. It is by far the hottest piece of clothing on this list, hands down. I have longer form video reviews of almost all the products that I talked about on this list. So if you need more information, all of those links are going to be found in the video description. The Zonley heated blanket is a staple for the tailgaters or any amount of time spent outside. Why not spend it draped in a heated blanket? Now, I will warn you that this is a seriously premium product. Everything from the packaging to the carrying case to the blanket itself, it's very high end, but that's good, and that's what you want in a product that you pay a decent amount of money for. It's got a huge battery that I had no problem getting several hours of runtime, even on the highest settings. And it does have multiple settings. You can dial it up, dial it down, whatever you need it to do, it can be that. If you're tailgating, this thing's gonna be great. If you're big into camping or outdoors, this thing will be awesome. Or if you just get cold sitting in your house, I mean, just grab it and use it. It has a lot of great uses, and it's even wearable with the little clasp that goes across the front and the snaps for the arms. Wearable and stylish. The biggest surprise on this list was the heated scarf. Now, I am not a big scarf guy at all, and with the price point of this product, I thought for sure it was going to be total garbage, but boy was I wrong. The secret to it working so well is not only does it block out the wind and keeps your neck warm just as a scarf itself, but that heating element is right up against your neck, which is awesome. It's powered by a medium-sized battery that fits nicely in the front of the scarf and tucks under a jacket, and you really don't even notice it. In my tests, I got a decent amount of runtime, at least a few hours, even on the highest setting. Now, it is a dual zone heating product, and you're probably thinking, how can that be? What are the two zones? It's a scarf. And you're right, but in a zippered pocket that opens up, there's actually a hood that folds out. And the hood is heated too. Now, truthfully, I don't use the hood that often, even though it does work fairly well. I usually keep it folded up inside the scarf and just use the scarf, but I always engage double heat zones so that both elements are heating up. I'm telling you, this was the biggest surprise for me. Again, I thought this thing was gonna be total crap, and it actually wasn't. And it's like 35 bucks, so like, why not just have it? Trust me, you're gonna like it. And if you like this video, think about subscribing to the channel. I make great content like this all the time. Now get out there and face winter with your newfound knowledge about heated gear, and don't let old man winter chill you to the bone. Thanks for watching.